Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, bleeding cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, bleeding cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, bleeding cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, bleeding cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Fluffy reserved the spot yesterday. Hello. Okay. A blue name. We have 2 new submitters. The league game? This is high funds. That's good to know. You're writing a Army of Despair? I don't know what that is. Is that a game or a war room or something? I don't know who sent this in. Never mind, I do. It must have been Captain Yu? I don't know how to pronounce the accent. My apologies. Castlevania game for like 10 years ago, dang. You're becoming a mod before your very eyes. Oh, it's this map. It's made a return. Now with black boats on the labs. Yeah, I bet the servers are dead, yeah. We're on a losing streak on this map. I'll put on my bow tie. There we go. I heard that Rhizomatic was complaining about the lack of bow tie, which is fair. I should have it on for the formal replay review stuff. Guess you need to get good. They do start you with an airport. There's a moment of, there's a glimpse of the evil penguin. Just, you know, sometimes that side comes out and you just have to put it away for now. I'm not, no, this is, look at this penguin. There's nothing evil about this penguin. He's very kingly. And formal. With his lovely bow tie. If it talks, it can lie. Wow, how could you say such things about me? My penguin. Yeah, I should have. I should. The problem is it's really difficult to focus on like talking and doing stuff, and then also toggling between different little modes here. A lot harder than I thought it would be. If it was scripted, then I could do it very easily, of course. Doesn't have a goatee. We are taking the fight to the backlog. Exactly. It won't stand a chance. Okay. We have a high funds map here with Andy versus Sturm. This is a tough matchup for Sturm because Sturm has a hard time killing stuff, like guaranteed killing stuff due to having the minus 20% attack. And when Andy's stuff doesn't die, he gets to heal it up with his powers. So this is definitely, in high funds, a tough matchup for Sturm. We'll see what he'll be able to do. This map got rotated out of high funds because there wasn't a black boat on this lab before, and you could rush down their lab and capture it before they really had that much chance to respond. Just get all 4 comm towers and become the legendary Advanced Wars 2 Sturm. That's true. There are 4 comm towers on this map, one of which is basically a gimme because it's or not necessarily a gimme because you do have to block your airport to get it, but one that your opponent is probably not going to be able to steal from you. And then there's contested ones in the corners here. So most of the matches on this map are going to rely on going for early transport copters because you start with an airport and those help a lot with capture phases in general. You could try and go for a very aggressive opening instead and go for like battlecopter recon to try and harass down someone going for the transport copter opening, but I think the transport copter opening should be able to hold you off if you try that. It might end up doing something. I'm sure there's quite a few openings. It's just when you start with an airport, it's hard to have an opening that doesn't involve building from your airport without falling behind. So we'll see how the players decide to go about on this map. This is of course high funds, so we should be seeing a lot of big boy units. There we go, transport copters for both players, as to be expected. Ooh, we have a very fast mech. Also, a little, what I would consider a misplay is not going down for the base and instead capturing this city. The unit count is going to be a big deal. Yeah, sweetdangerzack doing what I would suggest, going for the base first. this base doesn't have too many properties that it's kind of responsible for capturing, but the unit count, especially infantry count in high funds, very quickly becomes a big deal. But we do have a battlecopter now for both players. And this is the kind of fight that Andy would love to have, because Sturm battlecopters are just not going to kill Andy battlecopters very easily, even with like assistance from infantry. So they'll have a conflict, and then Andy's battlecopters can get away, or can limp away from the fight and be healed up with the super later. That nice value gain. Okay, so looks like Captain Pudú is sticking with just one transport copter. Had enough money to build another one, and I would probably recommend another one because it's still the capture phase, and even outside of the capture phase, you're going to want to be able to reinforce your fronts with the infantry that you buy at the base. And it's really nice to be able to build an infantry, and on the next turn it moves 3 into a transport copter, and then it moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it gets unloaded for a total of 10 movement, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So that's like 3 1/3 turns of movement done in one turn if you have a transport copter already set up to pick up infantry that you build from your bases. And that's useful outside of the capture phase, because you're going to want to be having a lot of infantry on your front lines to work as blockers. And then transport copters themselves are also blockers. See what Andy goes for. I think we're going to go for anti-air, which makes sense. We do have this copter here. Not quite sold on this mech, but I guess it's not going to slow down the possible capture routes for it, because both of these cities, actually all 3 of these cities, are 4 away from this city, so a mech gets there just as fast as an infantry. So we'll see if the mech really pays for itself. It will deter some harassment, but you wouldn't really expect Andy to go for the harassment in this matchup. That would be more of a Sturm thing, trying to slow down Andy's economy and make sure that Andy doesn't get to the big teched up units too quickly. Andy can win this, and I would say Andy has the advantage in this fight. Okay. We have a battlecopter and a transport copter being used to control this area. The transport copter is blocking this tank from hitting and interrupting the comm tower capture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't do it because the transport copter is here, so around. Can't reach, so Andy has a very nice block to secure that comm tower capture. And then looks like Andy is also going to be able to not necessarily get this comm tower, but at least contest it and just have a comm tower advantage. Did Sturm just attack this battlecopter? Okay, I would not recommend doing this. So this does injure Andy's battlecopter, but injuring Andy's battlecopter is not a great victory, because especially in high funds, the Andy supers can come quick and often, so injured units will heal up. And to do this, you have to hurt your own tank and injure a front-line infantry. So now this guy can't go for captures very efficiently. It will let this copter potentially have an advantage in the fight against this other copter, but there is an Andy anti-air already on the field, so I wouldn't be expecting to suddenly get a really nice air advantage out of this, but we'll see. Ooh, it's even a lot weaker than I thought, because there is also this black boat here. So the copter can just kind of fall back, probably to here or here, and then have the black boat repair it on the front lines, which is something that Andy probably should have gone for, just because the Andy super isn't. And while it will start coming quick and it will be very often and coming quick once the units are out on the field and all the funds are being used. In the meantime, it would be totally fine to just sit here and heal up on the front lines. Andy can one-shot Sturm copters, yeah. Especially with a comp tower. The anti-air. I think maybe without a comp tower, it might be a roll. But definitely with a comp tower. Okay, we haven't seen any Sturm recons, which I don't like not having. We also had a base camp apparently, which is not great. The Sturm recons are always going to be helpful because they cost only 4,000, so they're really, really cheap. And they move the full 8 movement. Or 9 movement. No, it's 8. 8 movement, regardless of terrain, so they can very quickly harass any area on your opponent's front that doesn't have good vehicle support. Like over here, it would only take 2 turns for a recon to be attacking you. And because the recon only costs 4,000, whatever unit gets sent to deal with that recon is going to be more of an investment than what you had to send. And it gives you nice little economic edges. Triple comp tower Andy versus Sturm is gonna hurt for sure. Ooh, Sturm going in for a hit on the black boat. No fear. Very aggressive play. Okay, so we went for some very forward captures using the transport copter to block off the route of the infantry to hit from this side. So they'd be forced to attack from the road. I mean, it is a very aggressive movement. I do like the block of this tank to stop the anti-air from reaching the copter. But I don't know how safe of a setup this really is. It is nicely set up so that if the anti-air tries to kill off this transport copter, the only 2 sides it can do it from would be in range of a mech strike. But we'll see. It's a very sharp setup here. We have just like very key units trying to hold specific places. I think Andy can at least, if nothing else, get us around on this copter. Oh, goes in for the strike on the tank. Tries to finish it off. Okay. And that lets it go through. Kill the copter. That's not the worst for Sturm, because the anti-air kills the copter, but the reinforcing units for Sturm now get a target to kill the anti-air. So if they can trade out copter for anti-air, then that will be fine. The problem... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... It's actually not that bad at all, because this copter had to attack in range of this anti-air. So once Sturm kills off this tank, this anti-air gets to kill off this copter in revenge, and then this tank and this copter can go after this anti-air. So maybe this copter too. So as long as Sturm kind of falls back to fight the units that dove in, then it'll be okay. If Sturm tries to dive in as well, then I think Andy will come out on top in a big way. Ooh, I'm not so sure about that attack. I think I'd rather like finish off this infantry or something, because you knock it down to 6 and it heals all the way back up to 8. Unless that stops Sturm from being able to kill this tank. If that amount of damage stops Sturm from killing the tank, then that's different. But if the tank's still gonna die, then I'm not as sold. But it looks like Andy is gonna get the triple comm tower here. Okay, never mind. It looks like Sturm doesn't have a way of killing this tank off. I think there probably was. Oh, maybe there is still. Ooh, infantry finishes it. Okay, there we go. So that makes attacking this mech not super great. Oh, it's true. It's just double comm tower. Neither player has gone back for this. Looks like Andy's about to. Okay, so that's a pretty nice little exchange for Sturm. I mean, Andy's not like behind after that. In fact, it's ahead in unit count. Because Sturm keeps doing these base skips, which is not great. Every time you do a base skip, it's kind of like giving your opponent a kill, a unit kill. And this is like 2 unit kills, or 2 infantry kills, because you would probably build infantry to fulfill the quota there. This also means that Sturm is going to very quickly run out of infantry and foot soldiers in general on the frontier. I'm not sure why this infantry fell back to the comm tower. It should probably move over here and strike the Sturm infantry from the top so that this guy can't get him. And he is going back for that comm tower. Mech gets hit. Guy falls back. Might see this infantry walk up and kill the mech. Yep. And then decide to fall back to go finishing off this infantry. That's fine. You can see Sturm is down to 9 infantry against 14. So even though Sturm somewhat came out ahead, it was pretty much an even trade. But Sturm came out slightly ahead in the vehicle fight. If there aren't enough infantry left over, which is very quickly going to happen in high funds because the big boy units come out and they can just kill infantry willy-nilly, you won't be able to get an advantage off of these vehicle fights because you won't have the infantry alive to actually capture the properties. We go down, and nicely, this is kind of how you want your attacks to go, where you have, if you have vehicles involved, they're kind of in the back, and then the infantry are working as a buffer to stop their vehicles from reaching your vehicles. Unless they don't have vehicles and they just have a bunch of infantry, then you'd want to swap it, and you'd have the vehicles shielding your infantry from their infantry. Okay, we have... This is what we'd call a death ball that Sturm is making right here. Another base skip. So the basic way you want to make a death ball is infantry on the outside. Well, infantry and like the stuff you don't mind having get hit, you want to have on the outside. So like a transport copter and some infantry. And on the inside, you're going to want all your vehicles so that your opponent can't first strike your vehicles with their own vehicles. The idea being, if Andy attacks this, their vehicles, Andy's vehicles will have to hit infantry and then leave themselves exposed to your vehicle first strikes. Okay, we do have a fighter. It's going to be really tough for Sturm to deal with. I don't think 2 Sturm anti-airs even kill an Andy fighter, especially with no comm towers. And you can see all of those base skips from Sturm are really starting to hurt. So like there's this death ball here and it's pretty scary, but there's nothing down here at all to deal with any amount of pressure. And Andy is starting to go into these tech ups, which I would highly recommend when playing Andy, because these units tend to be harder to kill. So they're both harder to kill, and they're worth more, so they give you more charge. So you hate to see it. That's a Sturm anti-air can't one-shot an infantry on planes, even close. Okay, so Sturm is diving on in here. This is gonna force Andy to act. That's not a great attack. Also not a great attack. So the reason these aren't good attacks is because Andy is setting up where he's about to have the super. So if you can't knock a unit down to below 5, you might as well have not attacked it, because it will just heal up. And all you do is is make Andy have more charge, so he has an easier time reaching that super. And you also take like damage in this case, or just get into a poor position over here. Okay, so it looks like Sturm has decided that they should go for a lab race, which is going to be really tough for Sturm because Andy will super and kill off 2 copters and then hit another one with his own copter, and then you just have to have nothing but tanks to try and kill this. Triple comm tower and super. Yeah, I think... Oh, but Andy does not go for the super, which is a pretty big misplay. The super, well, it would fully heal this black boat, but it would also give Andy +1 move and even more attack. So like these tanks, like this tank will be able to reach this infantry, and this tank will be able to reach that infantry, this tank can reach this infantry. Like, it gives you so many more options, as well as just more firepower. But it looks like the Andy normal power will be just fine. And it could be that Andy was worried about Sturm going for like a meteor power on the retaliation. But if you end up killing most of Sturm's units, you don't really care if the meteor hits you. You can always use, since you're Andy, you can always heal those units up later. You have a bomber, which is going to be really tough for Sturm to kill as well. We're going to have a meteor strike over here. The dangerous thing is that it's actually going to hit this black boat. Yeah, the black boat goes down. Okay. Does get the kill on the medium tank, which is very nice for Sturm. At this point, all Andy really needs to do is make sure that all of Sturm's infantry near the lab are taken out. So if I was Sturm, I would not put my infantry next to the anti-air. We do have a lab cap being threatened here. This is pretty scary. It's a super all-in for Sturm. Fighter flies on in here. Isn't quite able to get the... Wow, I'm surprised that fighter was not able to kill the copter. That's that extra plus 10% defense that Sturm's getting. But even so, I mean, it's triple comm tower Andy. Andy should send all of his units up here to save the lab. We have a Neo tank. Does kill off that infantry. Hit that one. We have a rocket, so that means that Andy here probably wanted the rocket from this base, maybe, because this one's going to take a little bit too long to actually get into range of the lab. Yeah, I would probably send all those units up. It's going to take way too long. Okay, well, Sturm can kill off that anti-air, kill off this tank. This fighter really wishes it could have secured a spot next to the comm tower. But this is looking pretty solid as a wall. Well, look at that really annoying battlecopter placement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think Andy can break through. You can always use the normal power if you need just the plus 10%. Otherwise, trying to get the super would be good. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this Neo tank will for sure one-shot this anti-air. So this tank can work with this tank, kill the 7 health tank, and then this Neo tank one-shots the anti-air, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, then this bomber can kill this 9 health tank on the road, and that will open up either this tank or this battlecopter to hit here. Probably the battlecopter, and then you'd use your own tank to hit here, maybe. I don't know. Looks like Andy's going straight for the normal power. I don't think it was required. Whoa.